Okay, day 206, part 1, here at the beautiful Clarion Hotel in Dubois, Pennsylvania, or Du Bois, Pennsylvania. I don't really remember W.E.B. Du Bois. Um, I don't know if he was the Back to Africa movement. No, that was Marcus Garvey. I think Du Bois had one poem that said hideous glee. I don't know why I think of Hillary when I think of that. But anyway, let's not try to do too many double entendres here with Du Bois. I just wanted to say that finding Seth Rich here, I'm not necessarily saying it's related to the Awan brothers, but I am saying that Mr. McCabe would have telemetry, NGA telemetry on the city of Washington, D.C. City of Washington, D.C. is the most cameraed city in the United States by far. Department of Homeland Security, they even joke that it's the Department of Homeland Police. They run the D.C. police. I believe they have an office. DHS has an office right in the D.C. Police Department. So there's lots and lots and lots of resources available. We could look at Seth Rich's credit card, for instance, the last day and retrace his steps publicly. We could go and look at the pictures from Lou's Bar and Grill. You probably would. Those might be suspects if Seth talked to anybody during the night, might have gotten into an argument or something like that. If he had been at other stores that day, you might want to talk to the merchants to retrace his steps there to see if any of those folks had heard him say anything about him being troubled that day or whatever, or any comments he might have made about people that didn't like him or trouble he was having with his girlfriend, whatever. That would be something it seems like you would want to do. It seemed like you'd want to publish what he was wearing. You could say, hey, Seth Rich had a pink tie and a blue suit and a white shirt, and then walk around with that picture to the neighbors and then knock on doors and say, hey, have you seen a guy with glasses that makes him look smart and pink tie and white shirt and blue jacket? Therefore, then you could fill in that block of time between 1:40 when he left the Lou's City Bar and Grill to the 4:20 when the police officers answered the shots fired answer. Now, I went onto the DC Gov website, and this is these are the officers. Now, this is unconfirmed. What happens is my researchers send me information, and then I confirm it. But here's one of my researchers. What they said is the 5 officers: Robert Wingate Robertson, Derek Tarr, Shea Ellis, Benjamin Velez, Mark Lee, and then Jody O'Leary. Now, they said Jody O'Leary was, I think this is the motorcycle police, was the responding officer, the first one to get there. So I don't really know. But anyway, the policy is that you can request to the DC police to see any body camera. So there's 3 body cameras here. So I would like everyone here who's seeing this to formally request it. It's at DC Police, DEPT. Please, I'd like to request George Webb comes in as soon as possible to view the body cameras, the 3 different body cameras for this, for his death that night, so we can see exactly what kind of shape he was in. I'm sure the police talked to him. He was supposedly conscious but dazed. I'm sure that everyone would like to see the questions the police asked of him as they waited for the ambulance. I'm sure the police would have asked, did you see who did it? How long have you been here? Are you bleeding? Where have you been hit? Do you think you've been shot? Can you show me where you're bleeding? Just simple triage questions that you would ask a shooting victim. So there's the folks. If you want to tweet the DC police, I'd like to see all 3 of the cameras tomorrow, if possible, or the day after. Whatever's convenient for the DC police. And then I thought about this Anthony Weiner email here. This is what they call prima facie evidence. On its own face, doesn't need any other support. We have Anthony Weiner distributing secure BlackBerry phones with a trusted staff. Now, Anthony Weiner also on his laptop has 650,000 emails, which many are classified. From that alone, this should reopen the Anthony Weiner case, and he should be called in front of Congress. And again, I say the 650,000 emails should be released, at least the metadata, because we have a person with no classified clearance as well as HUMA now in the business of selling these or sending these phones. And now with James Comey's testimony and the FBI correction to it, we know that these phones are the hacking device. These phones are a token that allow hacking. So we don't even need to know that it's the Awan brothers at this point. We just know he has a trusted staff giving phones out, and we know that there's classified information on his server. So that means he has the classified information on his server. We know the phones is a way of syncing, and he's giving out phones. Therefore, Anthony Weiner's giving out classified information. A to B and B to C. There's just no two ways about it. Why wouldn't you call Anthony Weiner in front of congressional staff and ask him, where are those phones? What did you do? Who was your trusted staff? Can we see receipts? Can we see start dates? And how many phones did you give out? Who did you give them to? These are simple questions. So, again, there was an alternative, very bulletproof phone from General Dynamics. It was Hillary that made the decision to use all these doped phones or whatever from the Awan brothers or whoever, but most likely the Awan brothers because they had the training. We have them hacking phones. And here we have just beaucoup evidence of Hillary, trying to use the special phones in special unsecure phones in these classified settings. So that's it for tonight from beautiful Dubois. And here we go into the lion's den.